And in no other country on this earth could her story unfold the way it has. From a child of immigrants to big sister to McDonald's worker, there is hope for y'all. District attorney, a wife, and mamala to senator to vice president. Please welcome Kamala Harris.
Several months later.
The truth is, this is just an epic disaster. This is a $1 billion disaster. Jen O'Malley Dillon promised all of us that Harris would win. She even put videos out saying that Harris would win. I believed her. My donors believed her. And so they wrote massive checks. I feel like a lot of us were misled.
And then, Alexa, I was looking at this, the $1 billion campaign and some of the things they spent, $15 million plus for celebrity event production. They paid Oprah Winfrey's organization $1 million. And they were still asking all of these people to give small dollar donations to the campaign.
The Call Her Daddy example is kind of overall speaking for how the campaign was. It was a lot of smoke and mirrors. There was a lot of celebrity endorsements, free concerts, billed as rallies. There was no substance. And so, the campaign, I think, wanted to coast on vibes, but vibes doesn't pay off your car loans.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I gotta tell you guys, the humiliation of Kamala Harris and the Democrats just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, because we are finding out that everything about Kamala's campaign was fake and scripted. Now, we all knew this, okay? Us common sense folks, right? We could just watch the Kamala Harris campaign. We could watch her speak. We could watch the way that she carried herself. And we all knew that, okay, this woman is fake, right? There's nothing real or authentic about this individual, okay? But, hey, they wanted the public to be convinced that she was the next Obama. And they were so desperate to try to prove that she was the next Obama that apparently the Kamala Harris campaign not only staged and scripted everything that they did, but they also paid for endorsements. All those celebrities that came out and endorsed Kamala Harris, they were likely paid to do so, right? They didn't do it to save democracy because they thought Trump bad, right? Trump's so evil. Let me come out here and support Kamala Harris. No. Some of them allegedly were paid. Like, for example, Oprah, who it was just revealed in a bombshell report from the Washington Examiner that her company received $1 million to do the scripted town hall with Kamala Harris. And Oprah was confronted about this report in which she denied that she was paid. And she also didn't really have much to say about Kamala Harris losing the election to Trump in a landslide. Take a look.
Hey, Oprah, good morning. How are you, darling? You looking very good. How do you think the election went?
Not talking about the election. Thank you very much.
Oh, is it true that they paid you $1 million for the endorsement for Kamala?
Not true.
Not true, okay.
I was paid nothing, ever.
What do you think about all the celebrities with their mass exodus?
I'm not talking about
Do you think Prince Harry's gonna lose his visa now that Trump's president? Thank you, Oprah.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Oprah clearly not happy with Kamala Harris losing. She doesn't have anything to say about that, okay? For whatever reason, the Democrats stopped talking about how democracy is under attack and how Trump is a threat to democracy now that he has won. I mean, even Charlemagne the devil is asking questions about why is it that Democrats aren't kicking and screaming and crying about the end of democracy following the election. Take a look.
I think that she should keep calling Donald Trump a fascist. And I think that Americans need to keep looking at the rhetoric of Donald Trump, because I don't know why we're even thinking about electing somebody who's talking about putting people in camps. I don't know why we're talking, or why we want to elect somebody who's talking about mass deportation. I don't know why we're having this conversation about somebody who wants to terminate the Constitution.
Don't y'all find it strange that now that he's won, they're not calling him a threat to democracy?
They're not calling him a fascist. I mean, damn, on Monday.
They're not calling him anything.
They can. On Monday, they was just calling him that. I would think that, if you really believe that, then somebody's speech would be about how America effed up and how things are about to be really bad.
Leaving that man
He's
alone.
the most powerful man in the world now.
It just makes you wonder how much of it did they really believe, or how much of it was just politics.
Well, yeah, they didn't believe it, Charlamagne. They didn't believe it at all. They were just saying it because they thought the American people were stupid enough to fall for it. And apparently none of them actually really believed in Kamala Harris, including the celebrities that endorsed her. Because despite the fact that Oprah is denying getting paid $1 million to endorse Kamala Harris to do that scripted town hall, her company definitely got paid, right? Her company got paid $1 million. And maybe this is a semantics game at this point, right? In the sense that Oprah is saying, well, I didn't get paid $1 million directly, just my company, right? Just my company got paid for it. Now, again, I just find it to be fascinating because if you really believe that Trump was a threat to democracy and Oprah being a billionaire, why would you make Kamala Harris use campaign funds in order to do that town hall, right? If you really believe in the cause that much, maybe she should have went the Elon Musk route and bankrolled the town hall on behalf of Kamala Harris, right? Instead of making her spend these campaign funds, in which Kamala Harris is now getting a whole lot of backlash and criticism for how she spent money because she raised over $1 billion and now her campaign is over $20 million in debt and she has nothing to show for it except losing in a landslide defeat to Trump, right? I mean, again, it's pretty embarrassing, so embarrassing that essentially she's getting roasted now in the media for the disaster that her campaign was. Take a look.
This election, she's good at raising money and she's good at blowing it. But money can't buy you elections, especially when you spend it like she did. She raked in more than $1 billion and is somehow now in debt. The Washington Examiner dug through her financial statements and gave us a good clue why. Kamala's campaign was getting whacked like a piñata while D.C. leeches hoovered up all the cash. She spent over $50 million on payroll. Trump's campaign spent less than 10. Another $12 million went to consultants, and $20 million went to their little concerts with Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, Christina Aguilera, John Bon Jovi, remember him? They even had to cancel a performance by Alanis Morissette because they were running low on cash. Isn't that ironic? Campaign insiders are mad at the bosses for wasting donor money on concerts instead of ads about, the economy. Quote, they said they were spending to zero. I guess they overshot zero. Ads would have gone a lot further than the pricey celebrity endorsements. One campaign source said people were concerned about their own financial issues, not Oprah telling them America won't exist. But it worked out nicely for Oprah. She got her friend Kamala to pay her $1 million to interview her in September. $1 million. Now, if she thought she was saving democracy, she should have done it for free. Kamala scared donors by calling Trump a dictator, got $1 billion, then just gave it to her friends and blew the rest on being a diva. Kamala went on a podcast, remember Call Her Daddy? But she didn't want to go to their studio in L.A. So she made the host fly to D.C. and used campaign cash to build a fake set in a hotel room. She spent more than $100,000 to build it. That set, see it? 2 chairs, a coffee table, and a bookshelf. That's 6 figures. Now, we looked at the set. We probably could have done it for around $6,000. That's without labor. But where'd the rest of the money go? We don't know. So she's still trying to soak folks for cash. 24 hours after the election, on Wednesday, Democrats got a text from the campaign. Urgent. We need help. Donate now. Help with what? You lost. If this is how she's going to spend her donors' dollars, imagine what she would have done with our taxes.
Yeah, so the hilarious part about this story is the fact that it confirms everything that we already knew about Kamala's campaign after the first day she launched, which is that, again, is all fake, right? Even down to these celebrity endorsements, right? So all those people, Beyonce, Oprah, all of those Hollywood celebrities, likely they were paid in some way. They may not have been paid directly, but likely they were paid, right? In some way, they benefited. Okay, none of these people actually really loved Kamala Harris. None of these people really thought that she was the person that she was being marketed as to the American public, which really shows you how fake these Hollywood weirdos are when it comes to their support. Because again, apparently they didn't really believe in Kamala Harris so much that they would endorse her for free. Nah, you had to pay up, okay? And where was Kamala Harris getting this money from? Well, she was getting it from the donors and the idiots that decided to support her, okay? They were basically burning their money on fire, thinking that she had a chance to win, even though her campaign allegedly knew they didn't really have a good chance against Trump, right? But again, they built up this Ponzi scheme, really. I mean, that's what it sounds like to me. They built up this Ponzi scheme, this scam, in order to make people believe that Kamala Harris had support that she really didn't have. And her friends all got rich. The consultants got rich. The celebrities got rich. Some of the paid social media influencers got rich. I mean, apparently she paid over $3.9 million to thousands of social media influencers to boost Kamala Harris online. So all of those people that are online supporting Kamala Harris likely paid, right? Likely paid propagandists, okay? And what I find to be fascinating about this is that as the left reflects on why Kamala Harris lost, they're essentially trying to blame right-wing podcasts as part of the reason, right? They're basically trying to say that, well, we don't have the same ecosystem that the right has in regards to podcasts, and that is why Kamala Harris lost. That's part of the reason why she lost. Take a look.
It's a negative one. It's a radicalization funnel. But what they have done in their online media ecosystem is build a radicalization engine, literally the way militant groups do around the world, that takes people from relatively low-level annoyances with the world. Why are eggs so expensive? Why is my kid learning this new thing in American history in school that I didn't learn? And then moves them through YouTube videos, through podcasts, moves them from that annoyance all the way, slowly, to a full-blown fascist politics. It's an elaborate multi-billion-dollar infrastructure, and there is nothing like it on the pro-democracy side. We don't have when a man is just lost and lonely and not yet radicalized, we don't have the equivalent of Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson to move that man in a feminist direction. By the way, we should educate men that it's actually really great to live with a strong woman who makes money. It's actually easier. Life is easier.
Text from a member of Congress saying, you know, something else we need to look at is how people are turning to social media, podcasts, and other non-traditional sources for their news, and also news stations that aren't news. And I canvassed in all of the battlegrounds. I was shocked by the amount of misinformation voters were truly repeating back to me. Truly shocked. I do believe this is what caused the collapse of the Democrats nationwide. You cannot win when people believe lies.
Wow, incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. I can't believe these propagandists can go on national television and with a straight face claim that they don't have a multi-billion-dollar propaganda infrastructure to radicalize people in this country to the left, right? I mean, that's called the mainstream liberal media. That is what MSNBC is. That is what CNN is. That's what ABC is. That's what NBC is. That's what CBS is. You actually do have that, is that you guys have no credibility, right? Which is why your propaganda doesn't work, okay? It's not that you don't have the infrastructure. No, you do. Your propaganda just doesn't work anymore, right? That's the problem. You're not credible people, so people aren't listening to you, okay? And I also find it hilarious how this guy claimed that, well, we don't have our own Joe Rogan, right? This is something that the people on the left are saying, well, we don't have our own Joe Rogan. Well, you did have your own Joe Rogan because Joe Rogan used to support Bernie Sanders, okay? Before he came out and endorsed Trump, which he did, by the way, for free, right? Trump didn't have to pay him for that endorsement. You know, Kamala Harris also could have went on Joe Rogan's podcast as well, too, for free. She didn't have to pay for that, but she refused to do so because it couldn't be done in a way that was scripted, right? So, you know, I think that she dropped the ball on that, but you did have your own version of Joe Rogan. You had Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan was a part of the left until the left pushed Joe Rogan away, okay? You remember during the pandemic when the left was smearing Joe Rogan as a spreader of misinformation / disinformation, right? They were pushing him away. They were actively saying, no, you're not one of us. We don't accept you. We don't like you, okay? And that, honestly, is probably what led to him coming out and supporting Trump, which I believe is a similar process that Elon Musk went through, right? When Elon Musk came out and said, hey, I believe in free speech, okay? And he bought Twitter in response to their censorship. The left said, no, he's a Nazi. that he's Hitler, that he is a bad person for promoting free speech. They pushed Elon Musk away. And now all of a sudden, Elon Musk said, okay, well, I'm going to support Trump. And I'm going to put my money behind Trump, right? And I'm going to help him win. And they want to boo-hoo, whine, and cry about that, right? So again, it's just funny to watch these people boo-hoo, whine, and cry about how they don't have the same things that the right has in regards to infrastructure to spread the word or to spread the message, or they don't have a billionaire like Elon Musk. It's like, well, you had all those things, right? You had a Joe Rogan, you had an Elon Musk. You guys said we don't want them. We'd rather have Oprah. We'd rather have Beyonce. We'd rather have George Clooney and all of the rest of the Hollywood weirdos like Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel and all those people. But it turns out that those people, again, lack authenticity and credibility with the American public. And that's what I love the most about Kamala Harris's campaign failing. It proves that the mainstream liberal media does not have any credibility with the public anymore. They don't really sway anybody like that anymore, okay? Not at all, okay? And it also proves that these Hollywood celebrities and their endorsements don't matter either, right? They don't matter. None of these things matter. And I think the left, they're losing their minds over this because they didn't have any substance. They didn't have any policy. And when you don't have policy, when you don't have substance, and the only thing you got is a fake artificial infrastructure that is being created by the left-wing liberal media and these Hollywood celebrities, when that fails, as bad as it failed for Kamala Harris, now you have to go back to the drawing board. You have to rebuild the party from the ground up. And that is a very, very, very difficult and hard thing to do. The liberal media has to try to get back their credibility. And again, that is a very difficult and hard thing to do, which is why they're currently panicking and they're so upset over Kamala Harris losing, because that means that they have to actually put in the hard work. It is much easier to raise $1 billion and to pay for celebrities, to pay for fake support, to pay for influencers, to have the left-wing liberal media just run propaganda on your behalf. Is much easier to do that than to go out there and to actually do real journalism, to earn the trust of the American people, to earn their vote, to earn their support in a way that is authentic, right? Yeah, that's not an easy thing to do. And it turns out that you can't buy that, okay? So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.